We say we are Vaishnava. What is that? When you call yourself a Vaishnava, you have to have a certain joy, which is different from what the world is giving. And that joy is not for what the attire that we are wearing outside, is not the tilak that we are wearing or the kantimala, no. That is the point of realizing that you are a human being. And that human beings, have been covered with so many ego identity, which we have to remove. We have to get rid of all our unwanted things. And the biggest things between Bhagwan and you is the ego. For you to be able to call yourself a Vaishnava with the path of bhakti, your mind must transform. This, like I said, I'm just a reminder of your spiritual life. But there is the Sadguru which is also seated inside of you. And when you thread the path of bhakti, your heart open up. When your heart open up, it reveals what is not revealed on the outside. It reveals something which is more deep in the inner level of your being. And once that happens, your eyes is open. I'm not saying about your third eye. All your eyes are open. This is when you become aware of the grace of the Sadguru in your life itself. A golden time is every day. Not only once you have reached that level of spirituality that you can drink that nectar. No. In the Bhakta's life, there is 24 hours the grace of God with them. You have to become aware of that. You have to become aware not only when you are doing your sadhana, you have to become aware of the grace which you carry constantly with yourself. During the day itself, who is with you? Become aware that the Sadguru is not far away from you. The moment you enter, into that inner spheres of your being and be connected to the Sadguru, your heart and the heart of the Sadguru start to vibrate in the same vibration. The Sadguru have transformed the heart of the Bhakta into the carrier of that divine nectar which the Sadguru hold inside. How do we perceive suffering? For the saint, for example, I would not say only on the path of bhakti, saint, whether it is in the Catholic tradition or in the Hindu tradition, it doesn't matter. How they perceive suffering as a redeemer. Even on the path of bhakti, when we look at the life of all the Maharashtrian saints, Sant Tukaram and Sant, they had suffering into their life. But for them, perceiving that this is not suffering, it is the grace of God. They perceive everything as being the grace of God. Either you change or you don't change. When you change, you have to have that full transformation. You see, when a bhaktas change, it's not an appearance of the outside. It's not just because we are wearing a kurta or a dhoti, or we are wearing a tilak, or we are wearing a kantimala, that bring the change. No? Then we say, yes, we are devotee of so and so, we are following this path and that path, But yet, inside, nothing have changed. You're still the same person which you used to be. That is not bhakti. That is not devotion. That is not love. There's no transformation. There is no inner journey. It's only the appearance of the outside that have changed. But inside of you, you have not become a better person. It needs just one strong determination of you, sincere determination of you, to say, yes, I want to change. Then you will see that how the transformation happen inside of you when you have that clear determination. When you're positive with yourself, nobody can move you. Nobody can shake you. Nobody can make you fall, because you are up. And you know very well that those which is up, nothing can move them. The path of bhakti have lead you to a different world You have transformed yourself. You are different because you have transformed from negativity to positivity, from darkness to light, from misery to happy. So enjoy that in its fullness and look at the world. All around you, there is beauty. All around you is the grace of God. Leave that. Don't waste that moment being miserable. Don't waste the moment to throw yourself into the pit. Elevate your consciousness by remembering the lotus feet of the Sadguru and Sri Hari always. Let your mind be on the divine name, As much as the frog of your mind is quacking, ignore it. It's just frogs from the mind. More you ignore it, better it is for you.
Bhakti is very simple, at the same time very extremely difficult. Only those who are sincere really into that longing, automatically Bhagwan himself get excited and he pour out that grace, he pour out that bliss, he intensified that love. But what have you achieved in this life? You see, one day when you're sleeping on your deathbed, whether you are old or you are young, you will see throughout your life the reflection of that nine form of bhakti. But that is only if you allow that to shine through you. That relationship that we have with God, that personal relationship that we have with God, that intimacy of love itself. Here I'm not talking about love what people understand with the mind, but I'm talking about the deepness where your heart is burning without you understanding why it is burning. Very often we try to comprehend it with the mind, but our mind is limited. And our mind understands only limit things. So that's why don't try to understand bhakti. What you can do is always to do your sadhana and always try to find positiveness in everything in your life. Bhakti awake in everybody's heart. The moment your mind is not present. Because what we understand about devotion, you see, very often people think devotion is just to be on one knees or to run to a temple or this. No, that is not devotion. The real devotion is when your heart is open. And to have an open heart, you must have an open mind. Because you have to be open to the possibilities that God is giving you. If you are not open to these possibilities, you will be stuck. And bhakti starts with the opening of the mind. That's why Krishna said in the Gita, a controlled mind is your best friend, an uncontrolled mind is your worst enemy. Because it's not out there, it is inside of you. You allowed that transformation to happen. Bhakti is that relationship that we have with God, that personal relationship that we have with God, that intimacy of love itself. Here I'm not talking about love what people understand with the mind, but I'm talking about the deepness where your heart is burning without you understanding why it is burning. Very often we try to comprehend it with the mind, but our mind is limited. And our mind understands only limit things. So that's why don't try to understand bhakti. What you can do is always to do your sadhana and always try to find positiveness in everything in your life. If you are positive, you will attract positive to your life. And if you are negative, that will come to you. So try your best to be in that state. We have to know deep in our mind that in any situation, however we are His. And He loves us, not the pity sins or pity things that you do in your life that say, yes, God don't like me or God don't love me. No, He loves you. Keep reminding yourself, sit upon that He loves me. In these saints, for them, every breath of them, He is first. And the same, he reciprocates that relationship. But do we have that relationship with him? This is a question. Have we put God first? Or have we put ourselves and everything else first? We know God only when we have to ask him for something. We become a beggar. We don't become his lover. We don't become his. This is the beauty of Bhakti. In Bhakti, there is this forging of that deep relationship. But this is the beauty of relationship, where God himself limit himself so that he can have that relationship with his devotee. And that's what you see, in these saints, for them, every breath of them, Vital is first. And the same, he reciprocates that relationship. It is incomprehensive with the mind, especially in the mind who want to understand everything. But this is the beauty of Bhakti. In Bhakti, there is this forging of that deep relationship. And we see almost that he become human. That's why Krishna said in the Gita, the fool will never recognize who I am. Clad in this cloth, they think that I'm just a human. In reality, what it shows the greatest relationship between Atma and Paramatma.
It is a multitude of facts, a multitude of experiences that have brought you to where you stand. For yourself to say, yes, I have taken this path, I have taken the path of Bhakti itself, Bhagwan have seen something deep inside of you. Can he be far away from you? No, he can't be far away from you. Very often, whatever we do, there's always an expectation behind there. I'm doing that, I shall gain something from that. I should feel a little bit energy somewhere. I should feel some Kundalini Shakti rising somewhere, some vibration. Then I will think, yes, my bhakti is right. If I don't feel it, my bhakti is not right. I have to question it. But it's not true. If you have been initiated in something, your duty is to do it. Not ask any question. Whenever you're ready to feel, automatically will come. But no, we have to have a certain power over it. When everything is taken away, what stayed is what you need, really. And that is the whole thing about that journey, of awakening into your wholeness, your fullness. And awakening into that fullness means awakening to that bliss of the Supreme Lord himself. And that is through grace. And that's what we do. In the path of Bhakti, we build that relationship to that infinite Lord himself. If you act selflessly, the result will flow. But if you act egoistically, you will wait a long time to get the result. And this is the problem that everybody, whenever we practice spirituality, I'm talking in general, I'm not talking only one kind. I'm not saying that ours is better than anybody else. No, maybe it is, but Krishna elevate bhakti, no? Without bhakti, nothing is possible. So you see, when you are in bhakti, you just do it. You don't concern about the result about it. Chapter 9, verse 31 of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, automatically, those who surrender to me, my bhakta, he clearly said, my bhakta. He didn't say somebody else, he said, my bhakta. Automatically, they will have that divine knowledge.
Educate yourself upon your path, This is very important. Because each path in life have a different service. That's why education is very important. That's why in the Bhakti Marga, we do the Bhakti knowledge is important also. So what I always ask the people to read the Bhagavad Gita and understand the Bhagavad Gita firstly. Because first you have to work on yourself. To help somebody, in anything, you have to help yourself first. If you can't help yourself, you can't help somebody else. And Bhagavad Gita gives you a clear understanding about yourself
and about service also. It's nice to meet great beings who can inspire you, and you can see that bhakti and devotion, how these people live, is not the same what we imagine, because very often we just imagine spirituality to be very superficial, very shallow. This is how it is, in the mind of many people. But when you encounter these saints and saintly beings, it give you a different perspective of what is spirituality and what is an endeavor to that, how much you have to give to yourself into that to achieve something.
You know the story of Sudama, how he have suffered a lot, but not a single time he have said it is God's fault. He accept that happily. Whatever come, I will always remember Bhagwan. So as he remember God, God also remember him. This is the beauty of bhakti. We don't ask anything to God, but Bhagwan is ever graceful. He's ever ready to pour out his grace without asking. Do we understand the mystery of God? No, we don't. His mind was fully absorbed on Krishna. He was not concerned about food. He was not concerned about his material things. How is our life? You are attached to your misery. Do you accept your life? Do you accept yourself? At the end, only one reality is to build your relationship with God, to attain His grace, to live life fully. Take the experience of the saints. If it is your will, I accept it. And this is the bhakta's attitude, is to accept everything else coming from him. Because you see, you don't know how he is, in which way he is burning your karma. Take that decision, transform your life, bring bhakti and love and devotion into your life, and let Bhagwan manifest in each moment of your life. When there is that intense love inside of you, that yearning, Bhagwan will come. And this is an experience of countless of devotees who have forged a relationship with God. And that cannot happen in the future. It is not when you say, yes, I have time. No, you don't have time. The time is now.
You have the choice to be with the grace of the Sadguru in a positive way, or you want to be with your mind in a negative way. So if you want to be, in the grace of the Sadguru, that is Vaikuntha. If you want to be with the quality of your mind and the negativity of everything around, that will be Narak, which means hell. To learn to see all around you that state of bliss, the state of Sriman Narayana, the grace of the Sadguru is all around you. There's not a single moment that you are alone. The moment you realize that, you will see that you are full with the grace of the Sadguru. Each thing that you taste will be taste the grace of Bhagwan himself. Everything become prasad. Everything become full, whole. That is the state of the saints. That is the state when you tread the path of bhakti, really. It raises your consciousness to that state where you become aware of the divine at each moment of your life. So enjoy that in its fullness and look at the world. All around you, there is beauty. All around you is the grace of God. Leave that. Don't waste that moment being miserable. Elevate your consciousness by remembering the lotus feet of the Sadguru and Sri Hari always. Let your mind be on the divine name. Don't judge yourself, God will not judge you. It's also in the Bible, no? When Jesus said, no, don't judge, you shall not be judged. But what do we do? You keep judging, you don't grow. So bhakti is not about that. It's not about judgment. You let go of judgment. Come to the point of having that discernation inside of you, to discern what is right and what is not right. And when you know what is right and what is not right, there is no judgment into it. Because judgment is an accusation. Yeah. Means you are better, the others is not. When you come on the spiritual path, first thing that it is important to understand, how can I serve? Service is in every day of your life itself. Each moment of your life, there is time to serve. You're cleaning, it's a service. No? You're looking after the garden, it's a service. This is one thing which is very important, service. That is when bhakti starts to manifest inside of your heart. When you are sincere with yourself, that is when bhakti starts to manifest inside yourself. But look at nowadays how it is. People want to serve, but yet the ego is running in front. They want to be seen, they want to be here, they want to be... No, service is done in the quietness, when even if you don't even think that God knows about it.
Guru Bhakti. That's the most important.